Quad City sports fans of all ages, Town Square Media is proud to present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the dawn.
Hey, what are you guys doing out there?
Hey, you.
You Quad Cityans, you out there driving around your cars? You having fun? Huh?
What start is that?
Uncle T-Roy and Uncle Bird here.
Hey.
Just wanting to talk to you out there. We're in a studio called the Hassle Castle, and we're on AM 1170 K-Bobber, and this is a show we call Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. So sometimes we do weird stuff.
Yeah, we do. It's that weird time of year where you start to, you start to pay attention more. We're getting to the All-Star break for the NBA, so a little bit the NBA.
You really care? Come on, be honest.
I feel like I'm just
We
gonna
have a radio show, Jay.
I feel like I'm just gonna do the same thing I've done every year and talk about how much the slam dunk contest was so much better in 1988 than it is now.
That's because Jordan was always in it. Guess who's never in it? There, you LeBron lovers. LeBron.
And but I mean, people, it's you give your halfway mark awards and everything, so it gets a little heated up, and then it goes away till April. And then we have the AFC NFC Championship games, which is nice, and then 2 weeks, which is crazy. I get it, but it's a little bit too much, I think, to have off. But it's...
Well, don't you think it's just? I mean, to me, back when the league needed to be pumped up more and brought along, the stars were in the slam dunk contest.
Yes.
I mean, the only time Jordan missed was when he had an injury, I want to say.
Well, it was a big deal. You had Bird in the 3-point contest.
Right.
Now I don't even...
I mean, Curry doesn't even go into those things. LeBron doesn't.
Someone's in it this year. I saw. Is it like
Someone?
Dwight Howard? No, I'm like Dwight Howard, like a name. I didn't,
Okay.
I'm just surprised
he
he's still
won
in the
it
league.
about 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
I think he's in it again this year.
When he was in his prime. By the way, dude still looks great, by the way. If you look at him, holy cow.
But like I said, But we have local sports that's coming on. We are going to this.
I don't know. I just feel like this generation of basketball, these players, they don't. I feel they don't care about what the players before them had done to get them where they are, to make the money that they're making. They look at it like it's a right, not a privilege.
I don't know.
I think so. I'm sorry. Maybe that's just old man talking, but I don't care. That's why Shinba can go pee up a rope for all I care.
But there are other things that we need to talk about. We briefly talked about at the end the Penn State situation, which is crazy. We do need to talk about OBJ and how we glossed over this yesterday.
Well, I thought it was all fake money anyway.
I never thought it was fake money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'll talk to Emily Van Buskirk.
What was he thinking then? If it was
he
real
said
money?
ahead of time he was going to bring. I'm positive if I go back and look at it, he said ahead of time either on Twitter or Instagram or something. He said he was going to be bringing a wad of cash for these players before the game. I mean, you can't do this, by the way. Not even NCAA. If you go back to the 2000?
Is he trying to ruin the program?
If you go back to 2006. It was going in the last weekend of baseball. The Kansas City Royals needed to sweep the Detroit Tigers, and the Twins needed to sweep whoever for the Twins to win that division or to go into. Or was it 2000? It was 2006, and they did. The Royals did, and before it even happened, Torrey Hunter said, if the Royals do it, I'm going to send him cases of champagne, to thank him. And they swept him, and he did. And then Major League Baseball had to step in, and they're like, you can't do this. You can't bribe players. He's like, it was not a bribe. I was in jest. Which, by the way, we got to talk about something else, that things you just say in passing. Like Mike Vrabel say that he would cut off his penis to win the Super Bowl. This is still on the table. We'll talk about that after the break.
You cut
too.
it off already? It's on the table?
No.
Oh.
We're saying that something he said. Now, of course, he's backtracking. But anyway, he did, and then Major League Baseball stepped in and said, you can't give bribes or anything like that. Now, OBJ says I'm going to give cash. He's giving out money, and then it's fake or not. LSU said it was fake. NCAA has to step in.
It did look fake.
Joe Burrow said, I'm no longer a student athlete. It was real. So he said he was on Barstool Sports like the next day. They asked him about it. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm no longer a student athlete. It was real. So we'll talk to Emily Van Buskirk about that because she was there. She was at the thing.
Well, let me. All right. After he completes his final game, he gets paid. I don't know. It's a gray area. Odell Beckham Jr., you are an idiot. You've just possibly put your alma mater in jeopardy.
Oh, big time.
Way to go, ding dong.
Yeah.
How about being the dumbest person on the planet? Hi, my name's Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, then.
It's a good thing I make one-hand catches because other than that, I suck at life. God, he's an idiot.
Yeah, and he's in some other hot water as well.
Oh, good. I hope he gets kicked out. Him and AB can go and box the police and see how long that lasts for him. Idiots. Just idiots.
But, yeah, and then, you have things like Chase Young can't send his girlfriend to the Rose Bowl, but whatever else. Let's see. Yeah, and LSU is going to investigate it about OBJ giving real cash stuff.
Don't you feel like a bunch of these guys just want to be T.O.? Like they saw T.O. act like a ding-dong, so they don't want to be T.O. Why can't you guys idolize Jerry Rice, who, by the way, holds all the records and never acted like a jackass, right? Yeah. I mean, even Michael Irvin didn't act this bad.
But like I said,
Megatron.
He didn't. You know who else?
Julio Jones.
He's back for a 17th season, he announced.
Larry Fitzgerald, probably, in my eyes, the second best receiver of all time.
Yeah.
Behind Jerry Rice.
He did not.
I would say it goes Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron, and then T.O. I mean, T.O., despite all his antics and how ding-dong he's great.
You have Anthony Carter in there?
I mean, Chris Carter?
Chris Carter.
He's probably in the top 10.
T.O. So you got Jerry Rice, Larry Fitz,
Megatron, T.O.
And Megatron probably be up there higher if he just didn't say, I can't be a part of this organization anymore.
Marvin Harrison is up there. Trying to think who else would be up there. I mean, there's other guys I'm probably forgetting right now, but Anquan Bolden was so good. Oh my God, he was so good. Other guys that were, I mean, there were some Packer receivers that were pretty good too in that stretch.
But yeah.
With Favre.
I don't know why you have to go out there and make a spectacle of things.
Yeah, I mean, just why? I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get the thing where you're doing something just so, like, someone should have said, hey, that's probably not a good idea. Like, why? What's the point?
It's not a good idea.
We all want the student athletes to be taken care of and not to be, quote unquote, broke and all this other stuff. But at the same time, don't get the whole thing in trouble by trying to prove a point or trying to showboat. Hey, great for you, Odell. You had wads of cash you can hand out. I'm glad. You know what? Good for you.
So,
but he made it more of a spectacle about himself.
I shouldn't laugh about this stuff. All right. So anyway, Odell Beckham Jr. All right. Uh-huh. So we have a thing about the cash that he did. All right. Now he's got an arrest warrant.
Oh God.
Over accusation of simple battery.
Simple battery to who?
He slapped the buttocks of an officer following the LSU's national championship game. A police spokesperson told Ramon Antonio Vargas and Carly Wells of NOLA.com that police sought charges after videos surfaced of the incident on social media. In the video, Beckham is shown slapping the officer and saying, "Get the gat," repeatedly. Hold on a second. Hold on. I can plug this in. Let's just see.
Get the gat? That's the gun. Get the gun.
Yeah. I understand what it is, yeah.
Is it a female cop?
It's not. Let's see here.
Oh boy.
Hey man, D. Lou finna go to jail, y'all. Hey. Hey, what about the big ugly, baby? No! Hey man.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's about the cigars or whatever else. And looking at the video, I'll send it to you. The police officer's bent over and he full on smacks him rear on the butt, and the police officer does not look too happy with it. Let me read. Yeah, okay. So watch that police officer there, okay? And you guys, we'll actually share this out there on ESPN 1170 AM, and that would happen. But here, look, full on. He just reaches back and just smacks him on the rear end. So the police officer doesn't do anything, and then turns around now, and they're gonna press charges now after the video.
Oh, come on. He's gonna handcuff him in the middle of that room.
The officer appeared, like I just said, appeared to speak to Beckham, but his words cannot be heard on the video. Wells and Vargas reported police originally sought a warrant for a misdemeanor sexual battery charge, but it was declined. Simple battery is a misdemeanor crime that carries up to 6 months in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. The major difference between the two charges is that sexual battery cannot be expunged, whereas a simple battery can.
Eddie O better be careful.
Eddie O.
It looks to me like his locker room is out of control.
Eddie O made $500,000 with that win on Monday night, so he got a bonus too.
Better be careful, Eddie O.
And we're gonna talk, like I said, we're gonna talk to Emily Van Buskirk about this because we also
either run your locker room or have it run you.
Michael Casagrande of AL.com reported on Tuesday that LSU players we're told they would be arrested for smoking cigars in the locker room during the celebrations. No players were arrested, and social media videos showed players continued to smoke despite the warning. Another officer reportedly gave the players approval to smoke cigars. You just said something about Coach O, and it's something that I thought of this morning. There's an alarming amount of underclassmen declaring for the draft out of LSU. Mm-hmm. And you know what that means, right? Yeah. That means they're getting out while they can.
Yeah.
Because
something's wrong. Yeah. So maybe LSU ain't going to be what I predicted.
That's what I thought of this morning.
They had a chance to overtake Bama, but if you got an uncontrolled locker room like this,
and you're letting in that guy who's giving him cash and smacking
all kinds of stuff. I mean, you're letting Odell in there. I'll tell you what. If I'm the university, I'm banning him from any other events. He's done.
And then, all right,
he's done. He's an idiot. I'll tell him he's an idiot to his damn face. He's an idiot.
More things to talk about. Carlos Beltran has stepped down as Mets manager. Before he has managed a single game, he steps down. Now, off the air, when you and I went out and we went to happy hour at Harrington's after the show.
Yeah.
Once I saw you there, I'm like, hey, Carlos Beltran's going to get fired. And you're like, oh, maybe, it's all going to come out. I'm like, no. Alex Cora implicated him in everything in an interview last season because they were talking about how the Yankees, they're doing much better, and the Red Sox. The Yankees had a good year. They won the East, right? And he said, Alex Cora says, well, I've been telling people all year long that the biggest free agent acquisition that the Yankees made was Carlos Beltran because he was a special assistant. He wasn't on the field. He was in the front office in the clubhouse, but he wasn't a player. And he said, he goes, I've been telling people all year that Carlos Beltran's the best free agent acquisition they made all year. And he said, I'm not. And then he looks at the camera and winks, and he goes, I'm not just talking about devices. I'm talking about details as well. So he lets everybody in to, basically the fourth wall. He lets them through and to be like, and I told you that yesterday. I go, hey, this is a done deal.
So he's saying Beltran was the guy in the back slapping the...
Helping, no, he's just that Beltran is one of the players who knows how these things work, and he took that over to the Yankees. And what he's alluding to is details of the game, but also devices. The things that happened in Houston when Carlos was there, the same thing that Cora did in Boston and Houston, that Cora was implicated 11 times in the commissioner's statement. And then he says Beltran, he's like, this is a nice addition for the Yankees. I'm not just talking about devices either, details. So he lets you in to be like, for those in the know, So yeah, it says here.
So
ESPN's
basically,
reporting.
Yeah, no one's going down alone.
Beltran was the only player named in the investigation for the sign stealing scandal. He's going to step down from the New York Mets. So there's going to be openings all. There's 3 new MLB openings.
2 managers, 1 general manager.
3 managers now.
3 managers and a general manager.
Yep.
We should put our hats in.
In the statement that was issued on Monday, it said approximately 2 months into the 2017 season, a group of players, including Carlos Beltran, discussed that the team could improve on decoding opposing teams' signs and communicating the signs to the batter, said MLB's report, which was issued, like I said, on Monday. The scheme they devised involved using trash cans and video cameras to send out signals. So it would be like, for like a fastball, no banging on the garbage can. And it would be like 1 for an off-speed type of thing. You still have to hit the ball. I get it. There are people out there that are going to say, like, is this really a big deal?
At that level, yes. Mm-hmm. At that level, if you know what's coming,
yeah.
Major league pitchers, major league hitters, they're the best of the best. What was the rumors that Ted Williams could read the name on a ball?
Mm-hmm.
His eyes were so trained. You can't deny it. There's a reason that people are so good at it.
Yeah. But I'm saying people are out there saying, "Oh, how come they didn't hit 700?" Well, it's still an advantage,
Yeah,
if you know it's
hard.
If you know if it's an off speed or if it's a fastball, it's an advantage. And I said it on Monday or Tuesday or whatever else. Like you can go Google videos of Alex Bregman where he's almost like snide about it and kind of gives a smile when they're talking about. It's almost like you knew what was coming, and he'll be like, he'd smile. And he kind of felt that way. It's all smile. So I don't know how much further this is going to go. I know there's
Which
obviously
certainly helps if you know it's a fastball or a changeup and you're timing it.
Yeah.
It certainly helps.
There's legislation in California that's saying that they should get the Dodgers should win the 17 and 18 World Series. I know.
Hey, California, why don't you take care of some of your other problems, like the homeless people on the streets, you ding-dongs.
Yeah. But we've got that to talk about. We got the AFC, NFC, the best possible matchups. What you want to see, we're gonna rank them, but out of the outcomes of what the best possible Super Bowl is. I want to gauge your interest in what you think it is. Obviously, if we're Fox, we know what they want, but we'll do our interest as far as what it means to us. So we got to take our first break, and we come back. And then I think at like 12:45, I'm going to try to call Rosso, and then at 1:10, we're going to call Emily Van Buskirk and talk about if OBJ handed her money after the LSU won the title.
Well, he can hand her money. It don't matter.
That's right.
If you want the latest in TV and security technology, but you're not sure where to start, you need to call Dunright TV and Security Solutions, your Dish Premier local retailer, and get started today. They're going to take the guesswork out of choosing the latest on the smart home technology with your budget in mind. Dish has been a leader in technology for years, and that Hopper Smart HD DVR interacts with your smart speaker to change channels, pause, and fast forward with just the sound of your voice. When you sign up today, you're going to receive a free Nest doorbell system, courtesy of our friends at Dunright. Just call 866-84-RIGHT and let Dunright provide professional installation with personal service, trusted by thousands of businesses and homeowners in the Quad Cities. Restrictions do apply and requires an internet-connected Hopper. That's Dunright TV and Security Solutions, 866-84-RIGHT.
The QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City Sports Show is here for you. Don't hassle us, we're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, tinted siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
It's putt around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
Start your day with Golick and Wingo. Enjoy your lunch with the only local sports show in town. Don't hassle us, we're local 12 to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey.
Hey.
What's going on, Quad Cities? How you doing out there?
See, you get done watching the second season of You, and now you turn creepy and say things like,
Now I turn creepy?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Well, on the air. I didn't say that. On the air, though.
That's spooky. I'm creepy all the time.
Yeah. Hey.
Anyway, guys, this is Don't Ask Us a Local on AM 1170 K Barbarino, brought to you by our friends at Dunright Satellite and Dish.
T-Roy finally finished the second season of You on Netflix.
Spoiler alert.
And then, but we were talking before the show started, and I said, well, I know what I'm doing tonight. I figure some things out. My daughter's got volleyball, but after that, then the Aaron Hernandez docuseries is on Netflix, came out yesterday.
Yeah, what's it called? Inside the Head of Aaron Hernandez or something? Something along those lines. In the Head of an Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah, Killer Inside, The Mind of Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, that's what
a Netflix docuseries. And, yeah.
Did they ever do a CTE test on him, on his brain, or any of that?
Not that I'm aware of.
After he hung himself in jail, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Epstein didn't do it.
It's yeah, I don't know a lot about it. They do looking at this thing on Yahoo Sports, written by a guy who was an executive producer on here. There's all kinds of things like the questions why, and maybe there's what he's saying is that the whys of why he did it. There's no conclusive answers. There's what he would say is that it's a crazy type of perfect cocktail of circumstances that led to his downfall. So There was family issues. There could have been CTE. There's rumors of an unease with his sexuality, an infatuation with guns and violence. All those things could have been the recipe for this. But yeah, I'm excited to watch. Not excited, but I'm interested to watch it.
Right.
And I will.
I mean, the
I'll fight for
CTE
this.
thing is really scary, though. I mean, you think about, how many guys from the 70s were lost that we don't even know about? You saw the movie with Will Smith, right?
Concussion?
Yeah.
No.
You never did?
Nope.
Why not?
Can't tell you why. I don't know. Never really intrigued me.
Good movie.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL signed off on that. They gave, to make that movie. So
Pretty eye-opening. I mean, I don't know if Will won anything for that, but I thought he did a hell of a job. But I'm just saying, you go and you think about guys like Junior Seau. I mean, Junior Seau, for all intents and purposes, his entire life until the end, was a stand-up dude. Like, community guy. I mean, he grew up down in San Diego area. He grew up in Oceanside. Went to USC. Drafted by the Chargers. Spent the majority of his career there. Then I think he bounced around a little bit. I know he's had some time with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. But, just sad, man, what it did to him. I mean, it literally drove him insane and changed him from who he was.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the fun thing about football, though. That's the possible Super Bowl. All right, so we've got...
Let's get back to positive.
The Super Bowl odds are, we mentioned them the other day, the Chiefs are plus 140. That is if you to win the Super Bowl right now. That is, you can go in and place $100 down and you can win 140. But you have to put up 100. 49ers are plus 150, Packers plus 600, and the Titans are plus 600. Now the exact outcomes are completely different. You can go down and put $100 on the exact outcomes and win this amount of money. Chiefs defeating the 49ers is plus 200, and the 49ers defeating the Chiefs are plus 220, which, by the way, I think that's probably, I would assume, the most likely, but the one that's the tastiest exact outcomes, based on what you and I have talked about.
Tennessee defeating the San Francisco 49ers?
Other way around. Plus 600, 49ers defeating Tennessee. That's the tasty one, buddy. That's plus 600. Titans defeating the 49ers are plus 1,200. That's tasty.
That's what I'm saying. That's tastier to me. We're calling it. I'm calling it right now. That's it. Calling it, Jay.
$100 to win 1,200. It's not bad. Let's look at the possible outcomes. Which ones do you want to see? Which one? Let's rank them. All right.
All right. What do I think is most likely?
Most likely
Super Bowl matchup is probably Kansas City San Fran.
Kansas City San Fran, which is the most likely.
And I would
the Joe
say,
Montana Bowl.
I would say most likely the winner of that game. Oof. I'll have to say San Fran, but by just a narrow margin. Kansas City's really good.
Most likely. Okay. And that's it. The exact outcomes of those of Chiefs 49ers, like I said, plus 200, plus 220 if 49ers defeat the Chiefs. That's scenario one.
And then the opposite for the other. Kansas City beating them would be the next most likely matchup in my head.
I'm just saying the matchups. What do you want to see?
Oh, what do I want to see?
Yes. Okay, first things first.
I want to see Tennessee winning it all just because
All right. You would assume Fox wants to see number one versus number one, right?
Fox wants Kansas City, San Fran.
Yes. They want the best
but
case
nobody's going to get mad if Green Bay's in it. I'm going to tell you right now. Green Bay will turn the
You get Green
ticket.
Bay, Kansas City, you've got...
Here's the deal.
Oh, hear me out.
Okay.
We're doing the 100 years of college football.
Okay.
Wouldn't football, NFL, rather see Green Bay, Kansas City, a repeat of Super Bowl I?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Between Green Bay and San Fran, those are two of your premier franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two of your top franchises of all time. No matter whatever one of those teams comes out of the NFC, you're fine. I would say I would say ratings-wise, Green Bay probably turns the ratings more than San Fran, but not by a large margin. But either way, those two are great. Those two are great for the NFL. Tennessee's the only thing that's bad for it. I'm serious. It's the truth.
I agree with you. Because
people are interested in Patrick Mahomes. People around the country are interested in Patrick Mahomes because of the way he plays. It's outstanding. That game to me is the most intriguing matchup because, I mean, at the beginning of the playoffs, I picked Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect the Titans to look like this. I'm struggling. We make our picks tomorrow, and I still am on the line.
Well, all right. Here's the thing about the Kansas City, the Titans game. All right, and these things weigh on you. You go, okay, it's Andy Reid in the playoffs. One, and then you have the Tennessee side, and you're like, he can't keep this up. It's the first man in history to go. Excuse me. Henry's the first man in history to go 3 straight games with at least 32 carries and 180 rushing yards. You know, all I just think about is the meme from the Green Mile where he just says, "I'm tired, boss," and he doesn't look tired. That's the crazy thing about Derrick Henry. He does not look tired one bit. There's no wear and tear.
You know how we talk about the beast mode thing?
Yeah.
This dude's way more beast than what I'm seeing. And the thing is, at the beginning of Henry's career, which people are probably forgetting, he was the backup. He was like just coming in doing certain downs. I want to say that was Chris Johnson was there for a while, and then they still had him behind DeMarco Murray. Remember that? DeMarco Murray was tearing it up over there. By the way, DeMarco Murray did very well at Tennessee for a couple of years.
They
and Henry didn't get a bunch of wear and tear.
I know I said this before, but like he's just like a year and a half behind. Last year before when we were going to drafts, and every once in a while you'll have that guy that says like, draft me, I'm going to explode, and whatever happened, it just didn't work. He really exploded like the second half of this year. Have you seen anything with his high school stats? All right, so this is just on Titansize.com. But these have been out there before, but it's the first one that I pulled up, so I just want to give them credit. So he's from Yulee, Florida, and he went to Yulee High School, and he had 4 seasons, and he totaled 12,124 yards and 153 touchdowns on the ground. He averaged 8.7 yards per carry.
12,000
yards. His
in
freshman
high school?
year in high school. Here's a rundown of his first 3 years in high school, courtesy of MaxPreps.com. Freshman year, he had 313 carries for 2,465 yards and 26 touchdowns. Lord. Sophomore year, another 300.
8 games, right?
Yeah,
8 games.
8, 9, yeah. Sophomore year, another 313 carries, 2,788 yards and 38 touchdowns. Junior year, 309 carries, 2,610 yards, 34 touchdowns. So then his senior year, he has 462 carries. 462 carries his senior year for 4,261 rushing yards and 55 touchdowns. That's his actual stat line of one season. I believe he also played quarterback a little bit too.
We had a heck of a pass the other day.
Yeah, he did.
T-bowed it.
Yeah, he is. It's incredible. So when you sit there and say like the amount of carries that he had, I mean, 400. Over 450. I said 463. I think is what I.
He's a freak athlete.
Yeah.
I just like the story, man. I like Vrabel. I don't like Andy Reid. I like tons of players on that Chiefs team. McAllister's out there banging his steering wheel right now, getting all mad. I'm just saying. I don't know, man. Gosh.
So,
just think the last 2 times the Titans were there, what did they do? They beat Andy Reid. All I gotta say.
What? Say that again?
Last 2 times that the Chiefs were eliminated from the playoffs at home,
it was the Titans.
It was Titans.
What do you want to see? Do you like the story enough that you think that's for the Super Bowl? You want to see this?
I do. I really want to see Tennessee, and I don't care who the other one is. I guess I want San Fran just because I want to see Kittle.
Okay. Well, I think. Well, then I know Erickson.
But the other side of me wants Green Bay because it's going to be good for business.
Yes. All right, that's a good point.
So that's the other. I mean, I guess in my eyes, I don't care who wins the NFC. I mean, it doesn't bother. I'm not going to be upset if one does and the other one doesn't.
I don't think I'm upset with any one of these outcomes, to be honest with you.
And I really won't be upset if Kansas City wins.
I mean, for a fact, State Farm's really, really cheering for Green Bay versus Kansas City.
Of course they are.
And so then we all get to 2 weeks of the State Farm Bowl, and that's free advertising for them.
They couldn't have picked a better guy to be his agent, by the way. He's a greasy agent. They're all just greasy.
We said this, that Mike Vrabel really does want to see the Tennessee Titans win the Super Bowl. Before the NFL season began, he vowed that he'd be willing to cut off his penis in exchange for a Super Bowl win.
Well, it's going to suck.
Yeah, now he's just kind of saying that...
he didn't mean it?
Yeah, he's like, hey...
Whoa.
His wife was fine with it. She's like, that's all right. And he kind of like joked about it. He said, yeah, I've been married 20 years, so you won't need it. You've been married, he goes, and he said to these guys on a podcast, like, once you guys are married 20 years, you probably won't
need it anymore.
So the actual quote from Mike Vrabel when he said...
How long have you been married?
13.
It's 7 more years, Jane. You won't need it.
Mm-hmm. So this was on a podcast that's called Bussin' with the Boys, hosted by Titans player Taylor Lewin and Will Compton, and he asked him if he'd be willing to cut off his appendage for the Super Bowl, and he said yes. And here's some other quotes where it says, Matt Neely, an assistant for the show, said he would cut off his penis for a Super Bowl. And I said, no, I would not do that. This is the host. Would you do that? He asked Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel says, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
That's hilarious.
He said, you've got 3. And Vrabel says, as a player, you guys will be married for 20 years one day. You won't need it. And Lewin said, if I come home with a bag of ice and Jen's like, oh, honey, what did you do? And I replied with, I cut my penis off. We're going to win a Super Bowl. She'd be like, or she'd be upset. And Vrabel said, she'd be like, do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it now? I don't know. It goes on. But like I said, Jen Vrabel chimed in on it, and she supported it on Twitter. She said, I'm not mad at all. I actually offered to help with the process. So they're having fun with it. He's not really going to do it.
Yeah,
we all say things
really,
in passing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I do like that. Vrabel,
although I would cut my pinky toe off to make out with Salma Hayek.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I wonder how many people have thought about severing their pinky toe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you just mentioned something. We've never had this conversation. I've thought about it, but it was way back in the day when I was in high school trying to figure out exactly how much a pinky toe weighs because I had to make weight the next day.
Harlem Nights, he shot her pinky toe.
Oh,
you just want to shoot off my pinky toe.
Do it.
I'll shoot that and I'll arrest it.
He shot me in my pinky toe.
Oh, my pinky toe.
Yeah, again, just like you said, I don't really, for business-wise, I guess in the Midwest, it'd be good to see Green Bay. It'd be a shocking story. Packers, Tennessee would be the one that I think would be the least.
Well, I mean, Erickson would love it.
Yeah, but it's
Erickson's
I'm just
a
saying,
special kind of guy, though.
I do want to talk more about the Super Bowl, possible Super Bowl, and more about the NFL, but what we need to do is we need to take a break, and we're going to call Ross to talk about Iowa basketball. He's on his way up to Fran Presser, and we got to get things situated, get Emily Van Buskirk on the phone as well. But there's a lot more to talk about after the break.
I'm super excited. Front Street Brewery is the oldest brew pub in the state of Iowa, nestled right along the bank of the mighty Mississippi in Davenport, Iowa. Since 1992, they've been serving beers for everyone like the Davenport Gold, the Wise Guy, the Raging River, and their oh-so-popular Cherry Bomb Blonde. You can check out the Facebook page for food and drink specials or visit the webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com. Right now, we're calling all bars and restaurants to get a hold of your local distributor. Put some Front Street on your tap lines or in your coolers today. That's Front Street Brewery. The restaurant is at 208 East River Drive, or the tap room in the Freight House Complex.
This is Brian Rothenberger, radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
At Casey's, we're not just here for our town. We're here for our schools. Introducing new Casey's Rewards, the new rewards program from Casey's that lets you turn your purchases into donations to your school. Sign up in the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into school donations, Casey's Cash, or fuel discounts. New Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good.
Back by popular demand.
Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen.
Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TechSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TechSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogulski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
It's putt around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
Every time my wife and I go to the mall, I end up wandering around while she shops with my credit card. Maybe I'll step into this arcade and check out their new virtual reality game. I think I'll try the virtual reality all-terrain vehicle ride.
Here's your goggles, sir.
Well, here we go. This new technology is kind of cool, but nothing beats hitting the rough terrain on a new or used ATV from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic. With a real ATV, you can travel through the woods, over hills, in mud, or snow as you feel the wind in your hair. And right now, Brenny's has an incredible selection of ATVs to choose from, just in time for fall and winter riding. Well, that's enough virtual reality for me. I'm ready for the real thing.
Oh, there you are, Mark. Look at all this great stuff I bought.
Maybe they should have virtual reality shopping.
The ATV you're shopping for is at Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, State Street, Bettendorf, across from the Alcoa Arcade. Almost.
Crystal clear sports in the palm of your hand. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and listen to the Quad City Sports Leader anywhere. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
We're back.
Not you. Remember Kingpin?
Hey.
Remember Kingpin?
Yeah, not you. You.
Hey,
not you. You.
Supplemental?
Supplemental. Yeah, give me another tab and tonic. Keep it coming.
Not you. You. We're just minutes away from calling Ross, so he's on the road up to Iowa City for the Fran presser. So let's give him a phone call, talk to him briefly, see how it's going.
Getting forward to meeting you. Look forward to meeting you.
Yeah. I think it's working.
Is it working?
I think so. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Jeez.
Here, let me see if I can prank him.
No, don't do that.
Let me try.
He knows it. He's got.
He doesn't know everything.
This is Adam.
Hi, Adam. This is Fran.
What's going on, guys?
Damn it.
What's going on, buddy?
Not too much. How's it going? Hey, it's bright and sunny out. A little deceiving, but
yeah, a little cold. I was cutting glass earlier today.
Usually what happens, right? If it's cloudy, it's warmer. If it's cold this time of year, it's going to be bright and sunny.
I've got to tell you a story, Ross. So my wife is out of town for business, okay? She's in New York City. She flies out tomorrow.
New York City.
She flies down to Atlanta, and she's supposed to fly into the Quad Cities sometime in the afternoon. And for some reason, she told me to ask you to ask Andy, the meteorologist, if there's any other secret weather that she could know about that she's going to make it. And I said, are you asking me that you think the weather guy, the meteorologist, doesn't give the full truth to the people out there, but he's going to let us in on the actual secret weather on whether or not your flight's going to get delayed. So if you could pass that on, that's what my wife thinks. I have inside knowledge into certain things in the media industry that they don't give to normal people.
Well, I got news for Andy.
He's got his personal local employee forecast, and everybody else he gets on TV.
Yeah.
Well, Rosso, you use your weather app on your phone. You don't ask Andy, right?
It was a little sore spot during football. I always took the weather.com forecast for Kinnick or the other venues because it gave the wind. And I told them that. I said, if you guys give the wind, but a lot of times I want to know if there's wind because that matters almost as much as temperature and precip, especially I think there was a game last year in Maryland where it was like, 25, 35 mile an hour wind.
Yeah, I remember that game.
It was a big factor in the game. So, yeah, that's why I did that. But, no, it looks like we're going to get hit. But, I was looking around, it seems like where Fargo to St. Louis is forecast for 4 to 10 inches of snow. So I'm not sure where it's actually going to hit, but it sounds like it's going to be a little bit worse than it was last Friday, which turned out to kind of be a dud.
Well, Macho Man was in here yesterday, and he gave his
the Randy report.
Yeah, we had the Macho Man Randy Savage report, and it was 1 to 3 inches yesterday, but we'll see what it is today.
So yeah, tomorrow we both talked after the game. Obviously I don't think I'm going to be able to make it up there if our flight does get delayed or anything because of the kids at home. But I'm going to try to get up there. The travel there was not bad at all last week or driving home. So I don't want to scare anybody who might be headed out to Carver on Friday night. But they host Michigan on Friday night, right?
Yeah, big. The first rematch of the year. Obviously, lost them in Ann Arbor back at the tip-off of the Big Ten slate in December. But, yeah, another ranked opponent, the first of 3 straight home games. And I think we've seen it, the first, third of the Big Ten slate. You got to win your home games, and everybody seems to be doing that. I think they have an over 800 winning percentage. I saw last night during the Minnesota-Penn State game. Home teams are winning, 8 of 10, more than 8 of the 10 games. So that's ridiculous. And you almost feel like if you drop one of these home games, it's so hard to win on the road that it kind of puts you, on a bigger uphill climb than it should. So I think it should be a good.
You with us?
Sure.
You back?
Rosso.
Yeah.
You
All
there?
right, yeah, we lost you for a second. Okay, got you back.
Oh. Just driving here on 280. I don't know. It was a dead spot. But, yeah, I think it's – I don't know where it dropped off, but the home team's you got to defend your home turf. We've seen it this year in the Big Ten. Over 80% winning percentage at home, so I think it's going to be a big challenge and a big, hopefully, win for the Hawkeyes.
Well, that speaks volumes then to the last 2 games for the Hawkeyes. So you have a big home win against a highly ranked Maryland team, and then win on the road at Northwestern. So, I mean, you got to feel that the Hawks are 2 legs up already, right?
Yeah, and I think getting Frederick back was on the lineup for the rest of the year. It's one of those situations where you don't want to overwork him. If it's a stress reaction, you can turn into a stress fracture. But I think that you're on the head, T-Roy. They beat a good Maryland team on Friday without Frederick, and then they come back and get it. Northwestern's one of the 2 worst teams in the conference, but winning on the road, like I said, it's a big road win anywhere this year when you get a win away from home. So a big win. Obviously, they did it with Garza in foul trouble too, which was encouraging because he had to, went gangbusters right away. Then he had foul trouble. Then he came back and went gangbusters at the end. So they're winning in different ways, which I think is encouraging for the long-term prospects this season.
What time is tip-off on Friday night?
8 p.m. It's a late one. Not a favorite for anybody in the media, print, TV, or otherwise. The 8 p.m. starts are just hell trying to get stuff for the 10 p.m. news or for the newspaper deadlines. I'm not sure why they insist on these 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock starts, but that's kind of what they've done for Big Ten Network and for TV. So that's what we live with here. And obviously, I wasn't in the Eastern time zone, so they're going to always put the Eastern time start at 6, and then 8 o'clock is kind of Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois, Northwestern, Wisconsin sweet spot.
Yeah, they. You brought up Garza's name. We talked to Kaker from Hawkeye Report yesterday as well, and he mentioned that Coach Juwan Howard from Michigan refuses to double team down in the post. He said that Garza could go off for over 40 probably in this game.
I went on a podcast with a guy yesterday from Michigan. I haven't posted it, I don't think, yet on his website. He's a former Michigan player, Anthony Wright. Said he played when Lickletter was a coach here. So we were talking about that. I said, well, you played it once. You got to figure they're going to adjust and do different things rather than just let Garza do work. And he said, I don't think so. He said that's been the MO all year. They gave up, 30 and 20 to that kid from Purdue. Oturu from Minnesota last week had a huge game against them. Obviously, Garza had 44 and 11 the first time. So I think Caker hit it on the head because that's what this guy thought too. I think they're going to let him do what he wants inside, but I don't see how that's a winning formula for Michigan. Michigan is superior athletes on the perimeter, especially. So you would think they'd want to dig, double, and kind of throw guys at Garza and make Wieskamp, make Frederick, make some of the other guys make some outside shots. But it sounds like they wanted to defend the three and limit the amount of three-pointers that are both taken and made. So that's what they're going to live with. But this year in the Big Ten, man, there's some studs inside, and obviously Garza's at the top of that list.
So we have that game on Friday night. Are you going? Do they have you go up to cover any of the wrestling on Saturday at all?
Generally, yeah, I would be going, but we have our holiday employee party.
Ooh, party, Christmas
and
party.
I'm up for an award. So I gotta attend. I actually haven't attended either last.
You winning a leg lamp?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You're
What
up
kind of
for-
award? A leg lamp?
A major award.
Yeah. What award are you up for?
I'm one of 4 finalists for Employee of the Year. So.
Well, you know what? If you don't win it, I'm gonna have to come down there and slap somebody.
Do you have to give a speech if you win it?
I think so. I haven't been the last 2 years, you guys. That's what I'm saying. I usually have been covering wrestling matches because sports works on the weekend.
Who else is up for the award?
It's everybody else with Living Local. So Brittany Price, the host, and then a saleswoman from Living Local, and then another woman that works. She edits and shoots and does a bunch of stuff for.
Wow,
for
come
that
now!
show.
Don't they split the vote there?
It's
Don't they split the vote?
guys.
Yeah, don't they split the vote?
Yeah, this is. I mean, you're Rosso. You were the man out there, the Hawkeye legend, everything. No way.
Hold on, I gotta tell you something though, Rosso. You've got the Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on your side, but I spent some time on Living Local. I'm sure the ratings went up on there.
Yeah,
on those Fridays I was there.
The Big Brother consultant. You never know. People might remember that.
Yeah, he's pretty tight with Brittany.
Rosso, I think you got this in the bag.
But see, every time I go there, when I'm on,
either way,
I was on the morning show and I was dropping your name. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good
either
friends
way,
with
it's
Rosso.
nice to be nominated. I will be happy if I win. I'll be happy for others if I lose. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can be abrasive at times. I hope that people know that's just because I'm passionate about my profession and my life, I guess. So I don't know. You never know how people take that if I can be harsh at times, but I don't think anybody takes it personally. So
Are you now? Who votes on it? Your coworkers vote on it?
Exactly. Yep. Everybody else votes. So everybody votes on it.
It's a
coworkers from every department. So, and we did campaign. So I did a little Fresh Prince of Bel-Air video spoof. Vasco helped me out with it. So and Ryan Jaster. So it was a good one. You guys would enjoy it. I should send that to you.
Yeah. What are you doing, man? You're doing a Fresh Prince dance. You're not sending it to us. You did the
we
Carlton.
gotta see this. I think this is great.
Did a little rap. I spun myself in the chair at the beginning with graffiti on the green screen. It was good. It was solid.
Yeah, this is a lock. I mean, they're 3 from the same show. There's the vote's getting split.
Yeah.
This is a lock. If I put you're the favorite.
You know what?
Odds on favorite.
I got Alexandra on here. I'm going to text her and tell her, hey, vote for Rosso.
I'm so excited that you're up for an award.
I'm doing it right now, too, just so I don't forget.
You should.
I am doing it right
now. In the presser today, you should ask Fran who you should thank when you win a major award for your company.
Right, on the air with Rosso. Exactly. Vote for him.
Anyway.
Thank all the Iowa coaches. Yeah, but I would be going on Saturday. I think it's going to be cool. They're obviously honoring Brandon Sorensen with those bandanas. I did the story on that yesterday. They're giving away 3,000 bandanas for his to support him in the fight against leukemia. That's the first of, as you know, Jay, 3 ranked opponents, 3 big-time Fridays, or Saturday and 2 Fridays back-to-back here at Carver. So
yeah.
The Hawks are rolling. This will be an interesting time because it's kind of a chess match or a little bit of cat and mouse game. Like, who does everybody wrestle? How much does, let's say, Ohio State and Penn State put into these dual meets, knowing that these guys are gonna wrestle each other in the Big Ten tournaments, they're gonna wrestle each other in Minneapolis at the national tournament. I always find that fascinating with wrestling. Like the guys weigh in, but then they pull a guy. Like I don't think Spencer Lee wrestled against Rivera during the dual meet last year. He only wrestled him at Midlands at the Big Tens. It was kind of just a gamesmanship, I guess, is the way to put it.
Yeah, you get to the point of where you're protecting your seed in tournaments, And sometimes it's frustrating for the fan, but I understand it. But unfortunately, we're also starting to see a lot of this at the high school level. Not around here, though. I did put it out there on social media. Are we seeing this? I retweeted. Someone said that they're seeing wrestlers pulling out with the medical defaults to protect their records or their seeds. But it does happen in NCAAs. But Iowa's got a lot of ammo there. It's when they have to pull some people out. So, and like you said, they have 3 big duels coming up. I hope the weather doesn't affect anything. It more than likely can, but it's going to be fun to be up there. Are you planning on, I know Big Tens are at Rutgers or whatever else, and so I'm not planning on going there. I am hoping to be able to get up to Nationals. Are you planning on going to cover for Nationals up in Minnesota?
Yeah, that's the plan, unless, Hawks basketball is in the NCAA tournament. I think then the first round will be the same weekend. So
That's right, it will, yeah.
It splits it. I know last year, like we were in Columbus and we were watching, Spencer Lee win on our computers. So it all depends. There's, if Iowa plays Thursday and they lost the first round, you could potentially drive to Minneapolis from wherever I was at. Or, if they're in the first 4, or, let's say, I haven't looked at where the sites are for the first round games. There's usually a Midwest one, whether it's Kansas City or Milwaukee or East Chicago. So I haven't looked, but chances are there would be close enough to drive if I were to try to get there for Saturday night, at US Bank Stadium. But we'll just have to see how the schedule works out.
All right. Well, buddy, we know you're on the road and you got to get up there, and we want you to get safe. So we're going to stop you with the distracted driving.
Yeah.
And
hands-free, dude.
Yeah, hopefully everything's the roads are fine tomorrow and you can get up there fine. And then, I can't wait till next week when you tell us about the winning the award. And
well, I will have to hear about it from Mexico, but either way, I look forward to it.
Yeah. All right, pal. Well, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate the support. I appreciate the
I sent that text to Alexandria, dude. She's got it. So
okay. All right.
Okay, good deal.
See you, buddy.
Right,
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, it's Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, WHBF as well. He does a great job, and honestly, he should be up for it.
I mean, this Hawkeye team, Jay,
is it special?
I mean, I don't want to use that word.
It was good to see Frederick back the other night.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, about it too.
We didn't have a lot of hype going into this year, and they look really good.
Yeah. Well, that's
you know what I'm saying.
That's the thing, and this weather, and then with some of the injuries, like I said, I started covering them when there wasn't a lot of people there, and then when they were winning. So the DePaul thing, we talked off the air. There were some whispers in the press area that this Iowa team's not going to be any good when they lost to DePaul. Now we see that DePaul's a good team. It was one of those things where I was just kind of like, I kind of took it as either maybe some people in the media, they were just bored with their job and they just wanted to poo-poo on the team, or they were young kids and they just don't understand like loyalty of Iowa and they just want to make snarky comments. By the way, I hate the word snarky, but make comments just to be funny because they can go on social media and make fun of something instead of support it blindly like we do. So, but then the winning started, and I was like, this is going to be a lot of fun. Carver's going to get packed, and then you had something like the weather the other night. Maryland comes into town. And again, I should ask Rosso because he talked about
Illinois been playing though.
Illinois just got in the top 25.
Okay,
their basketball team, so that's going to be fun when they come into town.
Yeah. But get Huggy on there then.
But the people that were there, like I said, it was an incredible crowd there the other night, and so I hope to see if we can double that intensity at Carver. Michigan should be a fun game that's coming up, and I want if Iowa can go on a little roll here, Carver should get packed, and the wrestling's going to be. They're already all of them are all sold out.
Yeah. So you don't like snarky?
I hate the word snarky.
What about smarmy?
I don't even know what that means. I've never heard smarmy.
Smarmy is like somebody's like sitting there all smarmy, like they think they're better than you, like like looking down at you. Smarmy.
I've never heard smarmy before.
Yeah, maybe I'm saying it wrong. I'm pretty sure smarmy.
I don't know why. I just hate the word snarky.
What's your favorite word in the English language?
Yes. It's just so easy.
I can't say mine. There's two of mine.
Yeah, it's the word yes because I just hear so much no. It's so easy to say no. The more people just refuse to say yes because it feels like they're gonna have to do more work if they agree to do something. So
there's people that hate the word moist.
There are people that I am not one of them, but yes, there are people that hate that.
Like, why do you hate that? I mean, you're eating a cake. Do you want it to be dry or moist?
Yeah, I don't know.
I want my cake moist.
Mm-hmm. But That's
I just words that people hate. Aren't they weird? I don't like snarky. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I get what it means.
Yeah,
smarmy.
It doesn't bother. I mean, it does. I hate it. For some reason, I hate it when I say it, and that just means that. And I'm like, okay, if I don't like it, should be able to come up with a better term with my vocabulary, and I don't. And then when I say it out loud, I'm like, I can't believe I just said it. As much as I don't like it.
Oh.
I had I think one time I had an ex-girlfriend way back in the day, and she said it one time to me in the middle of maybe a dispute, and I was like, "What the heck does that mean?" She's like, "Oh, you and your snarky comments," and I was like, "What does that mean?" So ever since, I was like, well, "I don't even know what that means."
You don't like it because someone called you.
Yeah, and I didn't know what it meant, and I was like 25 at the time or something.
What does snarky mean?
Yeah, 24, and I was like, I think I'm a little bit smart enough to know what snarky is.
I know. Mookie's, she's got that master's English. She's always pulling out some big words,
Mhm.
some 5-gallon word. Get out of here with that.
So we're going back, and we'll come back to Iowa. We're going to talk about college football with Emily Van Buskirk. We talked to her as well. But we were talking about the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Chiefs 49ers, the Joe Montana Bowl. That's 1 versus a 1. 49ers versus Titans. What's the theme there? I don't think there's a theme. Chiefs Packers is the rematch of Super Bowl 1. That's a good theme there. And then Packers Titans. I don't know what you're looking for a theme. And then you have the State Farm.
Let's see. The Titans play. Where's their home stadium? Tennessee and Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Music City, right?
Yes, Music City Miracle. That happened.
All right, so we'll call it the Music City versus Bum City.
For which bum? San Fran?
Yeah, full of bums. Do
Uh,
you know the one time I've been to San Francisco when I was a kid?
Mm-mm.
Like I remember, the bums kept approaching us. So that was from the 70s. Yeah, Bum City. We'll call it Bum City.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, there'll be plenty of different themes that people will try to come up with this. I was also thinking about whether or not these intrigue me to watch, because I'll watch it. All right, it's the Super Bowl. I don't think there's ever been a Super Bowl where I've been like, I'm just not interested. I can pretty much go back pretty far to where I was at for a lot of Super Bowls back, and I'm talking like
or Motor City versus the Bay City,
or
Music City versus Bay City.
5 years I can go back to where I was at for each Super Bowl and remember where I was. So I don't really think when people say oh it doesn't really do much for the dial. I don't think that's true. I think you just want larger markets like a San Fran for your share as far as viewership. But no matter what
makes
still
it fun is the squares. That's
the squares.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl squares.
Yeah,
that's what makes it fun.
For me, there's one year I won $1,200. I'm pretty happy.
That is fun,
especially when that kind of cash.
I wonder if, what, I feel like these are the type of things when we need to go back on conversations that we had when we were doing a podcast 2 years ago, when we were on the radio actually a year ago. And hopefully the people from the Iowa Gaming and Racing Association aren't listening. But it just seems like every other year they come into the area and they check to see if you're running squares.
Yeah.
Which I don't like those people.
Yeah.
Because the law is
you can have a $5 square.
A $5 maximum.
Yeah.
You can run dollar squares and people can get up to $5. You can run $5, but you can't do anything more.
Yeah.
Now you get a fine. Now they haven't been around in a while, but there are stories out there. I remember a year when one of these guys, officials, came into a West End bar and said, "You're running squares. Give me the entire pot. Here's a fine. Give me everything that you've collected. Here's a fine." And this, as the guy was like, the business owner was basically he just had enough. And he just said to the guy, "Well, what are you going to do for the Super Bowl? What are you going to do?" You know what I'm saying? When you just instead of complying and being nice to the officer or whatever he is, the official, he just was just like, "Hey, man, we're just all enjoying the game. We're going to enjoy the game. What are you going to do?" is what he said to the guy. And then the guy had the testicles to say to him, "I'm going to watch the game and follow my squares like everybody else." And the guy said to the official, "Get the F out of my bar." And the guy left. But that's one of those things, you don't know how, again, I wasn't privy to being there, but
story you heard.
We know enough people, and well, you know, your rep for whatever business, for either, you know, Miller or Bud Light, they're the ones telling you the story, and it's they know pretty well. But so the squares are it. Now you've got all these interesting squares where it pays out neighbors, and you know what else they've got?
Hello, neighbor.
They've got little youth teams, which, by the way, the 10U Stingers have one. You can go on their Facebook page. The youth are paying out.
Yeah.
The youth, they're making a little bit of side hustle.
Yeah,
off of this.
hustle, yeah.
Which is, by the way, illegal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you can't do this.
Oh, okay.
I actually talked to a person at the last year. I called to Des Moines in Altoona and talked to the Iowa Gaming and Racing Association. It wasn't our friend Wes Eric. He was someone else that has to do with this. Yeah. And I said, these programs that are doing this, is this against the law? And I didn't mention any of the teams that around here.
Right.
And the guy said it is. Yeah, it really is. It's against the law. You can't do this. You can't profit off of this. One, it's supposed to be 100% payout, and it's not when these teams are running it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, just to let you know
that you know that when you get into it.
I know.
That's the thing. Like, if you know it when you get into it, you know, all right, well, I'm giving 10, 5 is going to charity.
It's a nonprofit organization.
The hell does it matter?
They're making money. Yeah, people get involved in everything. We have to take a break, and then we got to call Emily. We got to talk to her about her time in New Orleans. No. We got to talk to her about the national championship game, and we got
dollar bills.
We got to find out what she's gonna do next, because she's always working something. You know, this is the girl that we met basically because she was working down in Peoria for a single A baseball team, but she does a lot of covering college football, and she did the national championship. She's our college football roving reporter, and she's become a friend of the show, and
she's roving.
We got to see what we're up to. So we got to take a quick break, and then we're going to give her a call when we come back.
All right. For nearly 12 years, Pints has been providing the Quad Cities with some of the best beer, drinks, and good times around. Join them Monday through Friday for happy hour 3 to 6 and have some of that complimentary Vans Pizza at 5 o'clock. Stop in any day of the week for one of their daily drink specials, Pints, 5268 Utica Ridge Road in Davenport.
Ella Schmidt, the 106-pounder for Bettendorf, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TextLayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TextLayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
Sensitivity, understanding, and a tradition of kindness and caring. It's so important when a family loses a loved one. Call on us, Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, for all your service needs. You have our single-minded attention to every detail. With a range of choices and services available, our professionalism, and our deepest sympathy. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
New Year's is here, and so are New Year's resolutions. If you're bored with the same old gyms and workout routines, try a different, fresh way to get in shape with a membership to Tarpons Martial Arts Center. Try karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or judo, all taught by certified black belt instructors. With flexible class schedules and 2 Quad City locations, it's very easy to start your path to learning a valuable skill set while you get in shape. Join now, and new students get a free uniform and official t-shirt online at tarponsdojo.com.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
What's happening, Quad Cities? We're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish. And this is Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170 K-Bob Reno.
All right, I'm going to dial up here our friend Emily Van Buskirk and talk to her about the national championship game. I had it seized and everything, and then I realized I was putting in the wrong area code, so that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
We prank call somebody, you get me in trouble.
Should we
try to prank call her too?
No.
Just come on, man.
She's going to hang up on us.
They're never going to have any fun. I'm saying hi first. Though.
Hello.
Hi, Emily. It's Troy from Don't Hassle Us for Local. Jay's here too.
Oh my gosh, Troy, I missed you last time.
I know. Jay did it to me on purpose. He knew that I wanted to talk to you, and he scheduled it for a day I couldn't be there.
Keeping us apart.
Yeah, that's what he does to me.
That
And then
is
he made
not-
me, and then he scheduled Clemson Carl for a day that I could have had you. Yeah,
It is not true. Emily was getting on her flight on Friday to New
Whatevs.
Orleans. Now, Emily,
I was.
if we follow on Twitter, you
Which
flew,
I do.
You flew in on Friday. Media Day
I think
was.
I flew in,
Go on.
yeah, I think I flew in Thursday, but I can't remember now. It's too far away.
Yeah. Well, you had so much
Go
fun
ahead.
down there, by the way.
Media Day was Saturday, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you were in on. You flew out on Friday. So you were. So you went in early on Friday night. You were on Twitter. You're like, I'm in the hotel room by 10 o'clock.
That's right. You were.
Yes.
I'm stalking
I
you.
did go. I know. I didn't do anything that night because Media Day is such a circus that you need to be on your game. But I did go to the hospitality suite, which I was feeling in the morning. So I'm my own worst enemy at these things, but made it through, which is all that matters. So it was fun.
Well, I'm digging the fact that not just that media thing, but when they had all 4 coaches for the playoff, and your questions are out there. People are retweeting your questions without giving you credit for them, by the way. But when you're asking them to use one word and to describe their team, and then Ogeron says grit, and then you said one word. I mean, hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, that's my person that did that. That's Emily. Give her credit, damn it.
That's me. I don't know. It's it's fine because it gives other media members good quotes for their stories, and I'm just happy to be able to ask questions like that of these great coaches. And yes, I had hoped Orgeron would elaborate, but he's a man of few words, so I have to accept that. And
well, he's a cartoon character, if anything. I mean, he's funny just to listen to, no matter what. But what were your thoughts on the game?
Oh my gosh, thoughts on the game? It was incredible. Having gone to back-to-back college football championships, the last year was in Levi, and then this year there, I was able to have a unique perspective on the difference between the 2 venues, the 2 fan bases, pretty much everything. And I got to tell you, New Orleans and the Superdome blew away the Bay Area in spades. It was just loud and electric, but respectful, and just the whole community got involved in all the events, the concerts, everything that was going on. And of course, the football itself was what we deserved after this season. It's unfortunate that Trevor Lawrence, had to have that kind of game on that stage, but the reality is that you can't win some of it. And there was going to be a time where he stumbled and Clemson stumbled, and it just happened to be, in the national championship game. So he took full responsibility. I'm sure you saw my Twitter, about his post-game press conference. He said, that was on me. I had to make better throws. So they'll be back next year. I'm not worried at all.
Yeah. You know, one thing I brought up earlier, it seemed to me like during the game, and I don't know if you could pick up on any of this from where you were at, but Dabo, when players made mistakes, and there was more than one, Dabo was basically consoling his players and pulling them aside and actually coaching them, like talking to them, making sure they understood, hey, you know what, you messed up. It's all right. You got another chance to fix it. Just, keep your head up, whatever else, which I fight is a sharp contrast to things that I've seen Saban do on the sideline. Did you pick up on any of that, or when you have had your conversations with Dabo, I mean, do you feel the same way? Is he a bit nicer of a guy than Saban, or what are your thoughts without getting in trouble?
100%. I mean, and I don't, and Nicky was not a not nice guy. He's just definitely more hands off. His players know what he expects from them, and that's how they execute. But Dabo, I was able to watch the Clemson practice in the ballroom, which was so funny.
Yeah, I saw that. You tweeted him dancing.
Yeah, I did, because, and I wanted to clear something up with that, because a lot of people were thinking, oh, this is a disadvantage, and maybe it was, but Dabo made sure we knew the next morning that, he chose that they had the option, just like LSU, to go to the same practice facility, but Clemson chose not to because they wanted to keep with their schedule. They're very, I don't know how to say superstitious, but they're very, detail-oriented, and he wanted to stick with the schedule, so they practiced in the ballroom, which was incredible to watch, just him, because he was a dance of sort. He's orchestrating these plays in the practices, but you can see him goes around to every single guy, and he's talking and working through things, and that's just kind of who he is. He's very hands-on in a way that's not micromanaging like David Shaw, where he has to be involved in every decision because he believes, what he has to say is better or right. Dabo really is hands-on in a way that is beneficial for the players and helping them through whatever that they're going through on the field or off the field. So that's one of my favorite things about covering Clemson and being around that program. And that's top to bottom. Their SIDs, their athletic department, everybody is like that. So I love that program so much.
We got to ask, you were on the field after the game.
I was.
OBJ, is that cash for real?
That's real money. That is 100% real money.
How dumb do you have to be to do this?
Well, and I'm sure you saw the video that came out of him, slapping the cop.
We did.
But let me just tell you guys, they were not in a mood, because this is the biggest game I've been at with, I actually talked to some of the Secret Service and people that were there. I mean, there were so many. It was just the most security I've ever seen, obviously with the president there. They checked our bags. They were everywhere. You couldn't turn a corner in the stadium without seeing some sort of protection. So everybody was kind of on one in that regard, I think on edge. From police to Secret Service to all the military that were there were just on edge. And after the game, LSU shenanigans, there were a lot of them, from the cigars, everywhere to OBJ. So I'm not saying, obviously there are more important things to be worrying about in the world other than, kids smoking cigars indoors. But I understand why the police were trying to be so militant about all of these rules. And as far as OBJ goes, I mean, I don't really know what he was thinking. I'm hoping he gave the money to only guys that are leaving. I don't know if it's been confirmed, who he gave it to or not, but it was hilarious, but not a smart play. That's why I didn't post anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll notice, a lot of media people did post. I saw it happening, and I saw what was going on. I chose not to post because that's the kind of thing that can get people in trouble, and that's not what, I'm about, or what this, covering the games are about. So it was hilarious, but it was unfortunate, and I'm not sure what's going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's a good heads up on your end by not wanting to post it. I mean, you didn't want to Mike Fires the situation, I guess.
Yeah. Good one.
And then, so the cigars.
Mm-hmm.
Were they told that they can't smoke cigars, and then but other security guards told them that it was okay?
So it's weird, and I don't know if cigars, if that's like a thing for them. I have no idea the backstory with the cigars. I mean, Joe Burrow just kind of does what he wants. It's funny, they took that picture of him smoking the cigar, and in it he has this hat in his lap. I don't know if you guys saw this. And I don't know what I can and can't say on air, as far as like words go, but it said big.
Yeah, I heard this. Yeah.
Another word, and then Joe. So he actually had that hat on during the press conference, but he's a fair kid. He turned it around backwards. So I have a video of him putting it on, but he flips it around so that part is in the back. But later, when he's smoking the cigar, you can see what it says. So my takeaway from all this is that Joe Burrow knows exactly what he's doing. He has this brand that he's building for the next level, and that's great. And cigars are obviously part of that image. The police told them when they were smoking them in the locker room, which is an enclosed space, mind you. There's no ventilation. There's no, if something happened, if they were to catch one on fire, it'd be a big problem. So I understand that part of it. That they said, look, anyone that's smoking a cigar is subject to arrest. And one of my writer friends chased him down. The police officer said, "Are you kidding? It was just a joke." He said, "No, it came from my chief. That we could arrest them if they're smoking cigars inside." Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what the follow through is at, but I'll tell you this: the media shuttle smelled of cigar smoke. It was everywhere, it permeated everybody. Just that smell is all I'll remember from the end of that night. They were smoking them forever. So
the game itself, though, was incredible. I feel like the pass interference call, the offensive pass interference call, just took the last breath away from Clemson. It just seemed like after that call, it was just kind of like then Clemson went ahead and they ended up punting on that series, and that just seemed like that was it. That was the final thing, and Clemson just wasn't really in it after that.
You hate to see it, and we went in knowing it was a Pac-12 officiating crew, and I went down there, with I know the VP of our communications and the head of the officiating, David Coleman's a friend, and so I went to New Orleans trying to do a story on the officials, how they prepared, what it's like to be on the stage, to be able to kind of not have redemption per se, but underlying storyline was everybody thought they were going to mess up, So I wanted to do this story on them to what goes into the prep, how they get to this place and make sure they're ready for this game, like a good piece, to support the conference. I was told no. Every outlet was given no access to the officials. It was a button down, and I talked to the guys later, and they said we don't want to shed light on them in case it doesn't go well. And it seemed like that was kind of the mood. Was okay, we know they're going to screw up, so we're just not going to let anyone talk to them or do anything. Which seemed weird to me to go into this thinking that there was going to be a screw-up or several screw-ups. I didn't like that part of it. But lo and behold, everyone got to witness, what the Pac-12 deals with on a regular basis. And I'm sure you read the story from John Wilner and Dennis Dodd about the officials on the crew, a couple of which were part of major gaffes earlier in the season and years ago, and had been, demoted along with their entire crew. So unfortunately, that was the narrative that came out, and they did not make the good calls when they had the opportunity. So I really feel for the kids, but at the same time, we have to deal with this all the time. So welcome to it,
Yeah, there were just some things that were interesting. There was the running back, the LSU running back, who it was super close, but you can see in replay that his hand touches the out of bounds, and then he still goes off for about another 15 yards, and there's no review there. And then the next time out, Clemson has the ball. They have a review on a catch if he had control before he went out of bounds. So it was just kind of who decides when the replay is and everything. And and then so right away, it's very typical that someone's going to find a story and talk about the officiating, and it wasn't hard to find. And it wasn't hard to text the links to my buddies who were watching the game when they're questioning the officials. Be like, oh, here's the problem. But yeah, you have to deal with it when you cover Pac-12.
We do, and this year I thought honestly was better than most that we've had. I felt like there were fewer major calls that would change the course of the game. So I thought I had a lot of hope going into it. They put together an all-star crew, but I think those stories coming out right before the game, I don't know. It's just they don't do well on the big stage. And my biggest one that I thought affected was obviously the targeting call. And I understand it's by the book. The rule is what it is, right? But at this point, I think we all can agree that needs to change, because that kind of call changes the course of the game for this kid that now has to sit out, and it was clearly not, his intent, and you could tell that he tried to pull up and not leave with his helmet, and in doing so, still managed to clip him
Yeah.
I just hate to see that,
And I think that's probably going to be addressed in the offseason because two out of the three last biggest games of the year, we have a call like that.
Yeah.
Just switch gears on you real quick. What are your thoughts on the suspensions that Major League Baseball handed down on the Houston Astros and Alex Cora and Carlos Beltran? What has happened with them?
I mean, I'm honestly curious to know what you guys think, because I feel like I've talked a lot about this with Jess, and my kind of opinion gets colored kind of by her opinion, because I don't know as much about baseball, so I kind of just like soak up things people say.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be curious to know what you guys think, honestly.
I thought it was pretty fair across the board. I think, a lot of people are talking about stripping titles or going even further, but and $5 million is not enough money. But I think the message has been sent. People got fired. Draft picks are gone. I mean, those are important draft picks.
Yeah,
I think it was just. Jay thinks it wasn't quite right.
I don't think it was enough. Because the $5 million, when you look at it, what they can save money in for losing that first and second round in those 2 years in 2020 and 2021, that they're not in whatever slot that falls into, how much they would have to pay that player. I think it's really easy for the organization itself just to go, yeah, they're suspended for a year. Well, we have to part ways. And make them fall on the sword. If I had that amount of money and I owned a franchise and it was that easy for me to get out of, just to fire somebody and to just get away with $5 million, I'd probably risk it, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I mean, you want to win more than one title, and you're losing what, by all means, is a very good general manager and a very good coach because of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, $5 million is still $5 million. You give me $5 million any day, Jay. I'll take it and run with it.
My biggest question is this: is like I had not realized that this was like a thing that people. Obviously, in every sport and everything, there's ways to cut corners, right? Like we see it all the time in recruiting and all these different things. But I did not realize, and maybe this is naive of me, that this kind of cheating in this specific way of stealing signs and all that stuff was going on. And people keep saying, well, it goes on everywhere. It happens on all the teams.
Well, the Patriots do it, right? I mean, in essence.
That's true, I guess. But I just didn't think in baseball that this was like, a thing. And so it's interesting to see such a harsh, but I guess fair, thing handed down. But then what are other teams going to do to adjust? Were they really doing this all the time? Did the Astros just get caught in a bad way and have somebody, blow everything up? But it's weird to me to think that this could have been something that was actually going on all around. So people were like, oh, well, if everyone's doing it, it'll be fine. No one's going to say anything. And then have one person kind of blow everything up. That's crazy.
It's interesting, and I think we have to reach out to Jess because Mike Fiers is on the Oakland A's, and the Oakland A's and the Astros open up, I believe, the season against each other. So she'll probably have a lot, because there is some pushback with Fiers. I mean, Jessica Mendoza was on this morning saying that she, has a problem with that. He came out and said that she said it's one thing to tell the guys in the clubhouse, hey, this is going on over there, but he came out and just, blew the lid off of something of a World Series that he a ring that he has, and he has not turned around and said, hey, I want to give this back to MLB. So it is kind of strange, but it
is weird.
Yes,
someone had to piss him off going out the door. That I mean, come on, had to have. So that's what happened.
What would you throw off all moral code? I've been pissed off plenty of times. I'm not going to divulge the deep, dark secrets I know about people just to make a point. I mean, at some point there has to be some honor.
No, Emily, Jay was touching on this yesterday, and I really didn't weigh in. I wasn't sure where I stood, but yeah, I think you're both right. I mean, you know what? Keep your mouth shut and move on.
Yeah, I say
you benefited from it too.
Go write a book later. Retire, write a book about it. Go on a press tour and everything else, but wait till after. Just you can go to the clubhouse and say it, because it is everywhere. And then there's these things out there. I don't know if you saw this either, Emily, but yesterday, about the time we're getting off the air, now someone had gone back and gotten Alex Cora an audio of him talking about Carlos Beltran and what an asset he was for the New York Yankees. And he winks at the camera because he says, he goes, Carlos Beltran brings a lot to the Yankees, and it's not just devices. It's the details as well.
Yeah.
And he winks at the camera. He'd let you behind the wall. And then all of a sudden someone now finds the audio. Now Carlos Beltran obviously has agreed to go both ways. But, I mean, this is a matter of in 10 minutes. I had not seen T-Roy to seeing him again. And I said, hey, Carlos Beltran's gone too. There's no way he can survive this. So people know about it. It's just a matter of if they're going to report it. And somebody decided to go back on that audio that they knew about and they said, I'm going to surface this audio as well because, I mean, you get your clicks and your likes and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's always more to these things than we know or realize. And if people were just smart, they would just stop. But the Astros, I think, have proven time and time again this year that they're not a smart organization. And the people that have been part of it do not act accordingly in public and around people. And it's like Alabama. You're not going to catch people who are close to Nick Saban saying shit like this ever, because that's just not how it's run. Like he has people around him that are smart, that are not going to repeat anything. It's very close to the vest. But for some reason, the Astros this year and last year, just wow. I think they need to revamp this policy of like what it means to be part of an organization, because this is crazy. It's crazy.
All right, and then let's look at the NFL. What are you? Who are you cheering for this weekend?
That's really tough because I'm supposed to say Niners. I think where I live, but I don't want to say that.
Okay.
So,
you don't have to.
But if you can't talk about that here. I want to go Packers. Maybe, I think.
Erickson just fell in love.
Yeah, you're pulling for the Packers. All right.
Well, I'm pulling for the Packers. I love, Aaron.
Oh, it's your Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he went to Cal.
That's right. I forgot the Aaron Rodgers hype.
Yeah. Can't wait till what's our guy Spencer Petras takes over. M's going to be out here all the time in Iowa City because he's a California guy. She went to the same high school as him.
Yeah. After him though, we got our guy coming up. By the way, just played in the game. Deuce Hogan.
Remember that name.
He's coming to the Hawkeyes.
That's a great name.
It's a great name.
Winning titles in Texas. He's a big kid. Oh no! Did we just lose you?
No, that sounds like a memoir. Winning titles in Texas.
Yeah, Deuce Hogan. This guy, I think it was some game in Dallas last night. They played at Jerry World. His team was up like 39-0, throwing darts into the end zone. I like it. I think it's like a soap opera name, Deuce Hogan. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
I like it. That's fantastic. Now, I got to say, when I was on Hot Mic, you remember when Jess and I were doing that?
Yeah.
The Hot Mic stuff. I actually said that this is like early when the season started, that the Niners would win the Super Bowl because why not? I'm not a fan, but I could see clearly what was going to happen with this team. So we're exactly where we thought we'd be, but I'm just hoping. I mean, what a great matchup, Niners-Packers. Like, I think it's going to be a good game, but I always pull for Rodgers, and then Blake Martinez, is a Stanford guy. I love him, so I don't know. We'll see.
And the AFC, on the AFC side, Kansas City or Tennessee?
I don't know. Let's go Chiefs. I like Patrick Mahomes. Covered him at Texas Tech. Good kid. So.
All right.
Do it.
And then who? If the Packers?
What a weird year, though.
Yeah. What are Packers and Chiefs? If that's in the Super Bowl, who wins?
Packers. I want Aaron Rodgers to go out because if he wins the Super Bowl, he's going to retire. Like that's it.
You think?
Yeah, go out on. I mean, yeah, I think.
You think he's gonna try to go Jordan? I don't know. I don't know. I think he sticks around.
It's an interesting take on it. All right, one other thing. The college football season's wrapping up. What are you working on next? I mean, because when we met you were down in Peoria. What's going on now?
I know. So no more. That was a good experience, and I learned a lot. But trying to move up a little in the baseball world. So I'm working on some things, maybe in some AA or AAA. Waiting to hear a little bit on that. I'm going to be heading out to the Pebble Beach Pro-Am next month to do some things there. And then Jess and I are going to spring training in March, so we will be there doing some interviews and whatnot. But really, the future's kind of waiting open right now. Waiting to get picked up like a free agent out here. So, yeah. But I could end up back in the region. Either I don't know. working on a few things, so we'll see. I would love to be back in baseball. It was a great experience and a great time. And I love the stories and the kids, so we'll see.
Awesome. We'll keep up the hustle. Emily, tell everyone when they can follow you at.
Absolutely. Follow me on Twitter at Emilnem, EMILNEM, and you can catch my work at sportsfanjournal.com, yardbarker.com, and sometimes on MSN Sports. I'll be at the Senior Bowl next week. I'm going to start tweeting out some information about the players that are going to be there. I'm going to tell some fun stories about a couple of these guys that are going to be surprising draft picks. So there's a really loaded roster this year. Jalen Hurts is going to be there, a couple of LSU guys, a lot of Pac-12 guys. So stay tuned for the stories on that.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and congratulations. Good job on the coverage and everything. And yeah, keep it up. We'll be in touch with you soon. Hey, what are we going to? We got to step. We're going to check back in with you real soon though too, because we got to sign you up for an XFL team.
Yeah, 100% in. And I'm going to come out soon because we promised a bar night out there in Quad City. So I'm zooming out.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. All right. Well, you appreciate your time, Em. You take care.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yep. All right. We got to take a quick break, our last break of the second hour. And but that's Emily Van Buskirk, friend of the show. It's one of the few times that you can actually sit there and say that social media was a lot of fun, because that's actually how we met her. It's not always the cesspool that it's in a lot of times, but that's how we met her. So, and she's been great to the show, and she's been a friend.
Great stuff from her. All right, pizza lovers, Van's Pizza More is just open at the corners of Middle and Forest Grove Road in Bettendorf, right there by the Plex. They have outstanding daily specials of the Van's Pizza you love. Today's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. It's $12.99 for any large pizzas, no half and halves. Can I recommend a sausage, pepperoni, green pepper, black olive, green olive, and mushroom extravaganza out there? It's so good. All you have to do is call 563-232-1396, and my boys there at Van's Pizza More will have it hot ready for you to pick up. Or if you live in Bettendorf, you can have it delivered. Delivery is limited, so please ask when you call. That number, once again, 563-232-1396. That's Van's Pizza and More, 5023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
This is Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
At Casey's, we're not just here for our town. We're here for our schools. Introducing new Casey's Rewards, the new rewards program from Casey's that lets you turn your purchases into donations to your school. Sign up in the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into school donations, Casey's Cash, or fuel discounts. New Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
BMS hotline.
I'm hiding in the closet. I'm really frightened. I didn't know who else to call.
It's all right, sir. Now tell me, what's the matter?
Well, it's my wife. She's in this mood.
Was it a grouchy mood, sad mood, moody mood? Sir, please describe the mood.
Well, kind of like all three.
You didn't tell her she was fat, did you?
Geez, I'm not that stupid. See, I was test riding a new Suzuki Intruder from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf. Well, I guess I just forgot her birthday was today, and she started yelling at me.
Go on.
So I told her that I was buying it for her.
First, you need to reassure her and tell her that you love her and that riding a Suzuki motorcycle helps to ease cramps and bloating.
Cramps and Hey, is this the pre-motorcycle syndrome hotline?
No, sir. This is the other PMS hotline.
Oh, no, she found me. Gotta go. Maybe I'll be calling you in 28 days.
Come test drive one today. Brenny's, 4426 State Street in Bettendorf, across from Alcoa. Almost.
New Year's is here, and so are New Year's resolutions. If you're bored with the same old gyms and workout routines, try a different, fresh way to get in shape with a membership to Tarpons Martial Arts Center. Try karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or judo, all taught by certified black belt instructors. With flexible class schedules and 2 Quad City locations, it's very easy to start your path to learning a valuable skill set while you get in shape. Join now, and new students get a free uniform and official t-shirt online at tarpinsdojo.com.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City Sports Show is here for you. Don't hassle us, we're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, J-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand?
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike 3.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
No matter what time of year, the hottest sports takes are heard right here. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Coming back. I mean, just like we're coming back on air, I'm coming back. Everybody, Jay's upset.
I'm not upset. I'm happy for you.
Well, I know, but yeah, I got to get out of here,
happy
brother.
for you to get away. You're going to go do some traveling. You leave a week. You leave on
yeah,
Tuesday.
I'm gone for 10 days, everybody, and I hate leaving Bird like that. But
so you're gone. So we won't after. So after tomorrow, we won't see you till after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I'll try to call in Monday because I want to just touch on and see how we did here.
Okay.
So you have it. I'll write it down in this paper.
So we'll have Adam on tomorrow.
Because right now it's Surge would have to win both, and you and I would have to go lose both for him to win.
Yeah. We got Adam in tomorrow from our Front Street Friday.
Yeah, Adam's out, but yeah, just to see who backed what horse.
They've
but right
got
now, you and I are 6-2. Surge is 5-3. Adam's 3-5.
Yeah, look at it.
So.
What is that thing they got going on down there? The Ice-Capades or something?
Ice-Capades or something.
It's not Ice-Capades.
It's beer on ice. Britney on ice. Britney Spears.
That's not it either.
Britney Spears records.
It's not it either.
I can't remember.
I just saw it. I mean, I gotta.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to do that Saturday. We'll see how it goes, but the weather's gonna be cold and windy. Saturday, cold and windy. So hopefully that doesn't put a damper, but at least the ice won't melt.
So we have the Bettendorf host the Midwest Shootout. It's a Freeman Castro Wrestling Midwest Shootout, and they've got teams from not only here in the area, but they've got coming in from like Illinois as well and Lamont, and that is a concern to the weather. We talked about this on Monday last week. Like, let's not create a panic to cancel these things just yet. I mean,
listen. The worst report I've seen is 3 to 5 inches. It's 5 inches of snow, everyone. 5 inches of snow is nothing. Every car that has front-wheel drive can get around with 5 inches of snow, okay? Mm-hmm. The plows are going to be plowing the main roads. They're going to be putting the salt down, the spray down, the pre-salt spray, whatever they call that stuff, to help keep the ice off the roads. It is going to be fine. Okay?
I just don't want to worry that we cancel something because of what's going on. So I hope not, because get this. So we've done Facebook Live events and everything. We got okayed. The mayor of Bettendorf, Bob Gallagher, friend of the show,
very much,
and I are going to call. We're going to have the finals on our Facebook Live at Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
For this Bettendorf event?
Yeah, for this Bettendorf event on Saturday. So weather-wise, again, my schedule looks like this just over the weekend. Friday night, Iowa City, the wrestling meet, the wrestling finals in the afternoon, and go up to Iowa City to cover the Iowa wrestling on Saturday night. So that's what it's looking like. Now, weather-wise, who knows what's going to happen, but I'll do my best to get in there, and you take your time and get there. What we were referring to when we started talking about this Saturday is the Extravaganza. All right? And if you go to, I'm going to share this right now. Front Street just did a post that's about they're giving away. They're going to be giving go to Front Street Brewery's Facebook page. They're giving away 2 tickets to the Saturday's Ice-Stravaganza after party, and it's at the Freight House Complex. So it's time for another. It's edition of where you go on there and you guess where the Cherry Bomb Blonde tap handle is at, and you can guess. There's already 13 comments, and they're giving away the post for this. They're giving away tickets to the Ice-Stravaganza, so that's a big deal. Adam will be in tomorrow to talk about that. So it'll be a lot of fun. We get to guess. It's our race to see who can do the best against the spread for 11 teams. Super Bowl wise, what do you do for the Super Bowl? Because now I don't. I do people go out? Do they have house parties now? What's the thing that? What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Like for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, is it like at your house you say, "Hey, Mookie, I'm going to go."
We
to Super
never
Bowl.
do watch it at the house. She hates it. Actually, it's her favorite day of the year
because she thinks
it's her last day of football.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She hates football.
She doesn't realize the XFL is going to sweep the nation, does she?
She's going to be so upset when football's on her TV again.
Yeah.
I haven't told her. Sissy, if you tell her, you're in trouble. Yeah, no, I'll watch it at one of the bars, Bert. I don't know. I tend to probably watch it at Harrington's the most, but in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Obviously, Oscars wasn't open last year. I know I've watched it at Pints as well. I think I did last year. I probably did half at one, half at the other.
Give me your most memorable Super Bowl that you've witnessed.
For me personally?
For you personally.
It would be the first one of the 3 that Dallas won in the 90s.
Okay.
So not only the.
So we're looking
at it was played
93?
at the Rose Bowl. Yeah, they played it at the Rose Bowl.
That's right.
Dallas ended up scoring 52 points. I want to say the final score is 52-17.
It's exactly the score, T-Roy. And for those of you listening out there and not watching on the Harrington's Pub Facebook thing, he does not have a computer in front of him like I do. That is the exact score, 52-17.
Easily could have been 59-17 if Leon Lett doesn't try to showboat with the ball.
And who does it? Don Beebe?
Don Beebe.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. So that would have been, if that doesn't happen, then the Cowboys then score the most points ever in a Super Bowl, beating your Chicago Bears, Jay.
Oh, not the most points ever. It was the largest victory.
Well, they would have, but 59 would have been the most ever in a Super Bowl.
The San Francisco 49ers scored 55 in 1990. Bears won 46-10.
Oh, all right, that was 50. All right, I knew someone was at 55.
36. I think it had to be. It was the biggest. Well, I don't
even know.
Yeah,
whatever. Most points scored, largest margin of victory.
It would have been the most points scored, though.
But what I remember about that Super Bowl is 2 huge things. Ed Norton Jr. or Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah.
Sorry, Edward Norton. Ken Norton Jr. making the stop at the goal line on Thurman Thomas, and then I believe that might have caused a fumble, but I know he stopped him. And then Michael Irvin had the awesome jump catch near the goal line, dove over to score a touchdown pass. Aikman set at the time the record for completion percentage in a Super Bowl. It was just a dominating performance, and just, for me, growing up a Cowboy fan and finally having back to being good, that was probably my most memorable.
Because then they go back to back. They beat the Bills twice, and then they win it in '96 against the Steelers.
Correct.
Well, obviously, most memorable for me is Super Bowl 20 on my 10th birthday. A couple other ones. The Packers beat the Patriots at Super Bowl in Super Bowl 31. That was on my 21st birthday. That was a lot of fun. I remember the Redskins over the Broncos pretty well. That was the one. The Broncos, I think, came out winning 10-0, and the Redskins came back and just decimated them. The first one I ever remember, Super Bowl I ever remember, is the Raiders '84 that I really remember, and that was the Raiders over the Redskins. That's the one where I can start telling you I know exactly where I was. 1984, so 8 years old.
I remember watching the Eagles-Redskins one at the house. I mean, I watched a lot of them. The one thing about the 93 one with Dallas is I was watching it with a guy from the Quad Cities. I was in the Marine Corps with.
Oh, really?
So at that point, I had no idea that my life would end up here. in 1993. It would end up in the Quad Cities. So, only thing I knew about the Quad Cities in 93, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Wacky Waters. A lot of fun.
I was in 2008, I was at Harrington's for the Giants over the Patriots. I definitely remember that. Because I was
there too.
Yeah.
I believe I was there too.
I was also at Harrington's for the Colts Bears game as well.
I was not. That was the 07, right?
Yeah, 07 season, 08 Super Bowl, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that was hosted down in Arizona.
I was at
No, I'm sorry, that's not Arizona. It was in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, that was the one where the Bears ran the opening kickoff back.
Yeah.
Like a Hawkeye.
It's exactly what we said.
I was
to the
watching
crowd.
it with Kent Odify down at, and I believe it was still called Dalton's. If not, it was Kilkenny's.
Okay.
One of the, or in between it was called something else too. In between it was called, oh shoot. Anyway, I was there.
Real quick, we have a few minutes, but there's something we touched upon last week, and I want to just bring it up. I want to talk about it before the show is over. And it's the Rooney Rule. And we talked about it, and we said about almost what a joke it is, right? For those of you who don't know, in 2003, the NFL instituted the Rooney Rule in an effort to diversify its sidelines. Basically, the rule is it requires teams to interview at least one minority candidate for head coaching jobs in NFL. But the numbers that has happened is showing that the Rooney Rule isn't really, it's a failure, basically. All right, so if you look at the numbers, 70% of NFL players are non-white, but only 12.5% of regular season games in 2019 were coached by people of color. So the numbers are expected to be the same with the same 4 coaches in place in 2020. That's your Brian Flores, Ron Rivera, Anthony Lynn, and Mike Tomlin. Only once in NFL history has a team replaced a black head coach with another black man, and that was in 2009 when the Colts' Tony Dungy retired and Jim Caldwell succeeded him. In addition to lack of minority coaches, just 2 teams employ minority general managers. So it does get head coaches interviews. It has not helped them to land the jobs that might actually get them hired as head coach down the road. Since 2009, nearly 40% of head coaches hired in the NFL were offensive coordinators prior to their appointment, the most of any feeder position. And we talked about this because we talked about Eric Bieniemy. Yeah. He's obviously doing a good job. And if you look at the history of Andy Reid and his offensive coordinators, they tend to get jobs.
Yeah.
So during that same span that we said 40% of head coaches hired were offensive coordinators, 91% of those hired as offensive coordinators were white, according to a recent study by the Global Sport and Education Lab at Arizona State University. So there's a pipeline problem. All right. But it is being addressed. Giants co-owner John Morris said it's something that really is a concern of the commissioner and the league. He said that they talked about it in December on the Workplace Diversity Committee about feeding that pipeline. So it's not just the other thing. It's not just the NFL though. That's in corporate America. There are just 4 black chief executive officers at Fortune 500 companies according to the New York Times. And there is a thing of a.
Well, Jay, I think Morgan Freeman said it well.
Okay.
And I don't know if it applies to all these things, but I think when you start identifying candidates by the name candidate instead of white or black candidate, then your problem will be fixed.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
When we can finally just identify each other as man, woman, or child. You follow me? There's no color before it, or race before it, or whatever.
Okay.
It went so, I mean, I don't know how you fix it, man. Other than we have to get to that point. When you look across the table at someone else, it's another human. It's not,
Well,
and by pointing out the deficiencies, does it necessarily make it better? I don't know. I mean, yes, if you point it out so people realize it, yes, it's good. But if you point it out and it causes one side to become defensive and the other side to go on the offensive, I don't think you're doing any good. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but there's also this.
And I'm not saying it's right by any means.
No.
I'm not saying that it's, this is just because this is the way it is. No, I'm not saying that. There's a lot of factors that go into this. And like you said, Eric Bieniemy didn't get a job. Yeah, he's doing pretty well in the Andy Reid system, but do people believe that was more Eric Bieniemy, or do they think that's a product of the system? Because obviously the coach for the Bears was having the same success in the system prior to Eric.
Yeah, no, but the other thing is the unconscious bias. All right, and the unconscious bias is that you tend to hire people that you can relate to, that you feel comfortable with, all right? And maybe just because of what's in front of you, you don't feel comfortable or whatever. There's a weird quote that was said by Panthers owner David Tepper. Obviously, they hired Matt Rule from Baylor to be the coach of the Carolina Panthers. I also want to remind you, 32 of 34 owners are white in the NFL. But one of the first things he said about Matt Rule after hiring him is that Matt Rule reminded him of himself, and they dressed similarly. One of the similarly. Yeah, don't get all smarky.
You're getting smarmy with me,
Smarmy.
pal.
Don't get smarmy with me.
You don't even know what similarity means.
Similarly.
Similarity? The similarities?
Yes. But that's what he said. He said he reminds him of himself. David Tepper said that of Matt Rule.
You are kind of snarky.
I am not. Don't do that. Don't say that.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're so funny, man.
Yeah, you're right though. If we can just start looking at them as candidates, that would be.
I just said something. I heard Morgan Freeman on an interview one time, and it made a lot of sense what he was saying. Yeah. It's just like when things will change when people quit identifying as this or as that.
We've got a big UFC event coming up this weekend. We're gonna have the Bob Father on tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's going to talk to us about UFC. It's Conor McGregor. He hasn't fought in 15-some months.
He's going to get his butt kicked by a cowboy.
I have not even looked at the odds for this. You think Cowboy's going to beat him?
I think so.
Yeah, Conor's been kind of quiet since coming out about this. This is going to be the Saturday UFC 246. Conor and Cowboy. Donald Cerrone. Bob knows more about these guys than I do, so we'll see. We'll see what he has to say. I'm excited to talk to him. Always fun to have Bob on, and we're gonna have Adam on from Front Street as well. We didn't even talk yesterday that Luke Kuechly retired from football at the age of 28.
Yeah, he's had a lot of concussions.
Yeah, so
that's an individual we should be worried about.
But age of 28. Just kind of went out on his own. It was quiet. It was in the afternoon. He just announced it. He's one of two players in NFL history to win Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons. Do you know who the other one to accomplish that feat is?
Say it again.
He is Luke Kuechly, who retired from football on Tuesday at the age of 28, is one of two players in NFL history to win Defensive Rookie of the Year and then win Defensive Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons.
Well, one of two players to ever do it.
Yes.
I got two pretty good guesses.
All right, give me one.
Von Miller.
Not Von Miller.
Lawrence Taylor.
Those are your two guesses?
Yeah.
It is Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, he's one of the two.
Yeah.
Good job. Again, we talked yesterday, and want to remind you guys about local before we go off the air. Bayside Bistro in the Village of East Davenport. It's not your ordinary sandwich shop. It is locally owned down there. They use fresh ingredients, and their orders are made from scratch. You can get things like from paninis, like the Bayside Po' Boy, the roasted beet, green bean salad. They have smoothies, fresh juices. All of this is made fresh to your order. You got to go check them out at 1105 Christie Street in East Village, Davenport. It's important to support local, and you don't just have to take our word for it. You can check out their Facebook page and read the over 500 recommendations from guests. If you're looking at something to put something together for a Super Bowl, to have people over, and maybe you don't want to do all the cooking, they can do catering for you, and they also host private events as well, and they attend special events. And for those out there who are interested in the gluten-free or plant-based diet menu options, you can check out their menu. They got plenty for you. Guys, we can't tell you enough. You got to go out and support local. These businesses are important to the Quad Cities. That's the Bayside Bistro at 1105 Christie Street. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Tomorrow, we got a big day. We got a packed house again. You guys take care, Quad Cities. Enjoy yourselves, and hopefully it doesn't storm anytime soon, or we don't even cause panic in anybody. Take care.